We did get some interesting news over the last 24 hours about the Astros. First off, Yordan Alvarez is swinging a bat per the Astros press release. Other additional injury updates for the Astros. Yordan's hitting off a tee, to be specific, started on Sunday, scheduled for hitting off a tee in the batting cage yesterday. Lance McCullers is playing catch at Dyken Park, threw off the mound for the first time since the right foot sprain he suffered in the gym. Christian Javier threw a 20-pitch live batting practice on Friday, his first live batting practice since surgery. Luis Garcia also threw his first live batting practice today, 20 pitches. JP France threw a 26-pitch live batting practice on Friday. Spencer Arrighetti reported to Florida to continue his build-up to game action. All pretty good news on the injury front. Also good news if you're looking for an Astros update when it comes to Jeremy Pena, who, of course, signed with Scott Boras to be his new agent. Per Ari Alexander of Channel 2, the Astros and Jeremy Pena were deep in contract extension discussions for a deal exceeding $105 million over 5 years per multiple sources. That's a very strange report. No, that they were deep in contract discussions. That was before Scott Boras entered the equation.
Yeah. They're deep into 5 years, 105 before Jeremy Pena fired his agent, got Scott Boras.
Yeah. So maybe the agent was trying to make that happen, and Pena was like, yo,
Yeah.
I could get more than this.
You see the war leaderboard right now?
Right. And then canned his ass because he believes in himself.
Yeah.
For Scott Boras, he has done extensions with Astros players before it was absolutely necessary, right? I mean, with Jose Altuve, with Lance McCullers, there were some early deals given. But generally, he wants guys to hit free agency and get the biggest possible offers. So that's likely what he's going to be hoping for from Jeremy Pena in a couple of years. It is a few years down the road. It just is a tad depressing that Scott Boras is involved and that there wasn't a deal done by the poor guy who just got canned, who was thinking, I'm about to do it. I'm about to make my money. What? I guess it was a group. It's like Beverly Hills Group or something like that. And now they're out of here.
Yeah.
Rejected.
I think that this is more of a, hey, Dana Brown and the Astros, they're trying to sign guys to extensions. It's just that I wonder, I don't think Ari gave the time frame, or if he did, it was in the article that I only perused.
I've only glossed over.
Yeah,
he released this basically right before the show started.
But I believe there wasn't a timetable. So I wonder if this was before the season or if this was, because I imagine once he got off to a start that he did, like, again, he's going to be a free agent 3 years, so it's not
right
super pressing. But it's also once you start playing the way Jeremy Pena is playing, and it's like being a shortstop, and if you get to free agency, if he holds on to, like, even if he falls back to earth a little bit over the next 2 years from where he's at right now, where he's just like not the best shortstop in the American League, but a top 5 shortstop in the American League, you're talking $150, $200 million.
Someone would throw stupid money at him. And I think, like, even an interesting one to think about. Not that I know they do it, but I mean, with Alex Bregman already in Boston, what the Red Sox think about a guy who played baseball at Maine, maybe. I don't know. Just food for thought 3 years down the road. Dana Brown joins the Astros flagship and gives updates on what's going on once a week. Here is what he had to say today. Are you down with what Dana Brown is saying? Dana Brown was asked about Yordan Alvarez's health, as he has been asked over and over and over again. No percentage as far as how close he is to being back on the field for the Astros. I agree. He said, quote, I feel confident that it could be before the All-Star break. I think there's a good chance we see him before that. I think we're going to ramp him up to take some batting practice. We're going to allow him to swing the bat. Start it off Sunday on the tee. All right. I mean, am I buying it? Am I selling it? I don't even know. It's nebulous. He didn't give us really much of anything there.
I know it was. I'm confident it could be before the All-Star break. Yeah. I'm confident it could be before the All-Star break. I think it's cutting it close. Even if it is before the All-Star break, I can't imagine it'll be that much far ahead because he's just now this weekend or the past weekend, he was hitting a ball off a tee. So he probably needs to face live pitching. He'll probably need a rehab assignment, like a week, maybe 3 games rehab assignment in Sugarland.
Yeah, maybe.
Like we're just, you're just adding up the weeks and it's like, well, there's only like 2.5 weeks until the All-Star break, right? It's like July 14th, I want to say. So it'll be tight if he makes it before this timeline.
More from Dana Brown, this time on some of the injuries, some of the injured pitchers specifically that we mentioned. He was asked about pitchers who could return. Quote, I'm hoping we have Spencer Arrighetti and Christian Javier. They're looking really good. So didn't hear anything about Luis Garcia there. And I imagine with Lance McCullers, he doesn't think this is serious enough of an injury to be wondering whether or not he'll be back. So maybe not expecting much out of a Luis Garcia or a JP France the rest of 2025. More. More are you down with Dana Brown? That's really, that's just injury talk with Dana Brown. We hope they'll be back. We hope Yordan will be back before the All-Star break. Yeah. Yordan on the Astros being 13 games above 500. Starts with the pitching. The defense has been really good. Getting timely hits at the plate, and bats are heating up. I don't know that the bats are heating up. I don't buy that, but I buy everything else that Dana Brown sold me there, Sean.
It's a tough game before to be like the bats are heating up. Now
he says it all the time.
It took him 5 innings to get a hit, but after that, they hit 1 home run. But heating up. Cooper Hummel's heating up.
Cooper Hummel's hot. He's on fire relative to expectations. Dana Brown on Joe Espada as a manager of the year. Absolutely. Very impressive. Joe manages really well. He's a steady hand. He's been doing an outstanding job.
Okay.
Pretty good endorsement. Not a ringing endorsement.
I don't know. I don't know if I can go manager of the year for Joe Espada. Now, it is hard in baseball out of any of the sports to be like, this guy's been pushing all the right buttons, because how much of it is Espada pushing the right buttons versus guys actually just playing better? Like, I don't know what he did to the back end of the bullpen, but Josh Hader, way better than he was last year. Jeremy Pena, way better than he's been outside of the 2022 playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of that is Espada.
There was a graphic that showed during last night's Astros games of most game missed due to IL stints. The Red Sox, 751.
Wow.
The Astros, 752.
Wow.
The White Sox, 775. The Orioles, 786. The Dodgers, 1,065.
Ooh.
So I wonder if Dave Roberts is going to get looked at with how the Dodgers are doing.
If they win like 100 games, maybe.
They're probably going to win 100 games at the Dodgers.
Yeah. They're probably close to on pace for that, right?
The elusive manager of the year for Dave Roberts, assuming he hasn't won it already.
I don't know if he's won it already.
I just have a hard time seeing any Astro winning an award ever again. Like that. Like an MVP or manager of the year. I get that's Justin Verlander won it a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he got a Cy Young.
But I don't know.
They've gotten Gold Gloves.
I mean the big ones.
Multiple Gold Gloves.
I mean the big ones. And I guess manager of the year is not really that big of one in Major League Baseball these days.
Also, I imagine if the Tigers are the best record in the AL, it would go to Hinch, right?
Yes, I totally agree. Yes. Yeah, no one expected that. I mean, they were a wild card. They snuck in last year after getting hot at the end of the year. Yeah, they've kept it going. So, yeah, that's right. It's AJ Hinch, Sean. One last one. Dana Brown asked about his performance this offseason and season. Judge yourself, and you won't be judged. I'm hard on myself. I'm tough on myself. Got a great staff, too. It's a well-oiled machine. I like hearing that he's tough on himself. I like this saying, judge yourself and you won't be judged, because it makes me feel better about how much I judge myself.
Judge yourself and you won't be judged.
Yeah. I mean, you are judging yourself.
And other people will still judge you.
They definitely will. I guess it makes those other judgments not matter.
That's probably what it is that if you're your own harshest critic, then whatever.
The other critics don't matter.
But
it's also unhealthy as someone who is reads books to try and stop doing that to himself.
I think that Dana Brown answered that well, because he can't just be like, victory lap it already in late June. Be like, yeah, you see that Paredes trade? Cam Smith and Paredes for a guy who wasn't going to be here.
Yeah.
After the season anyway. Alex Bregman breaking down already for the Red Sox.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm glad he didn't answer like. Actually, no, I would have preferred. It would have been way funnier if he answered that, like a wrestler. Like,
let me tell you something.
Just cut a promo right there.
We've overcome injury after injury.
I call the other 29 general managers, and they get scared when they see me on caller ID.
I get blocked regularly by these GMs. And let me tell you what, I still find a way to get through. Like our toxic ESPN 97.5 Twitchers, I will never completely go away. So you watch out, other GMs. Just like other teams, you better watch out for the Houston Astros, brother.
Oh, that's 790, Jerry.
Yeah, probably. As always, shout out to Dan Matthews for transcribing this.
Literally could not do this without you.
Yeah,
I mean, we could. It would just
we could listen to the Sean Salisbury show, but instead we do this. So we appreciate his service. It is the Paul Gallant Show, most interactive sports talk show in town. 713-780-3776 to call, to text, to YouTube at ESPN Houston, Twitch at ESPN 975. Let's go right through.